RotN STS randomizer run by Karushi Drive. So Karushi, I'm ready to, who are you running as tonight? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, hey, what's up everyone? I'm K-Drive. You can also call me Karushi Drive. And tonight I'm really excited to showcase Bloodstained Ritual of the Night randomizer. This game and games, Metroidvanias in general that release nowadays, it's very rare for them to have a built-in randomizer. And with a specific set of settings that the community calls same type shuffle or STS, the built-in randomizer in this game actually ends up being pretty solid. There's gonna be a lot to go over for the course of the run. So in order to help me with doing all of that, I've got the one and only, the Bobby, to help me out with commentary. Hey, what's up, Bobby?
Hey, how's it going? I absolutely love Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. We've done a lot of Ritual of the Night randomizer like tournaments and competitive events. It's been really fun to cast, and ready to watch Karushi Drive just strut this stuff on through with a lot of the items that you'll hopefully see being picked up pretty early in this seed.
Yeah, absolutely. We're already ready and loaded into our seeds, so I'll just give a countdown from 5 for the time. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's see what this first chest's got.
Yes, indeed. Before we go check the first chest, I'm just putting on some gear from the DLC set that's available when you start the game. And we've got Zangetsu in the first chest. That's definitely very nice. All right, so
go ahead.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it. You got it.
No, so in this particular like randomizer like setup, we want kind of like one of two major items to go mode. We just picked up one of those as the very first chest in the game called the Zangetsu. This is actually Zangetsu's weapon that you see or that you may have seen in like previous Back to Black events. But this is a very powerful weapon, not only for its base stats, but it can open up one of the final events or one of the final areas in the game for us. The other thing that we do need is a shard, a skill called the Dimension Shift, and this will actually enable us to traverse through the final areas accurately without any glitches in order to, beat the final boss and beat the game. There's also a couple of other useful shards that we would love to have that would sport really cool movement, because the way that we're going about the movement right now is Karushi Drive is doing a whole bunch of back step canceling. All right, that was not the Dimension Shift. That's fine. But kind of like in modern Metroidvanias, you have to input a chain of specific movement. So Karushi Drive is backdashing, canceling the recovery frames of that backdash with a crouch, and rinse, lathering, and repeating that way. Like it's really awesome and fast if it's fluid, but it also is a little bit of a strain on the hands depending on what controller that you're using. Carpenter Key also opens up another of these secret bosses that we have, and hopefully they might get something. I don't know if they actually do.
The Carpenter Key, I believe, yes, the Carpenter has a purple shard, so in the worst case scenario, we'd have to fight him because he's like a kind of elite enemy sort of encounter. But we're hoping the head doesn't come to that. Yeah, and while we make our way towards the first boss, we're still in just the early section of the run, which, we're just gathering some equipment and stuff. Mocha Jones, if you got anything for us, let us know.
Yes, I do. And I just want to remind everyone that we do have a bid war for what is your favorite block. Again, we are in this Underworld RNG block, and we do have donations who are saying, hey, I have a favorite block. So I have a $25 donation from Sprinkle Theory that says one of my favorite blocks on the schedule has been Silly Block. It was such a fun block, and I love Cass's cosplay. Speaking of Cass, we have a $10 donation from Cassasaur that says, I ran a Silly Block. I got to represent the Silly Block in the bid war. Thank you all for the love and support so far this event. Let's keep it going, and let's keep it going. Again, we are over $18,000 raised for Race 4. Let's get to that 20,000 mark tonight. Let's get to it before the end of this run. By doing that, we do unlock more Hades 2. So let's get there.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want anyone to let up on that bid war yet, because I want my personal vote to be this block. this randomizer underworld block that we had going on. We had Sworn, we have Bloodstained randomizer. We're gonna finish this with a randomizer, and it's gonna be great. So this is our first boss, Vet Bar, and Karushi Drive is doing some expert attack animation canceling. Just jumping up and down, spamming that attack button. It's actually a lot harder to time and to keep up with the DPS than led on, because that was such a quick way to fell that foe. What's the purple here? Okay, all right.
Chisel Barrage. Well, Chisel Barrage is pretty good, honestly, but it's not Dimension Shift, so we're still looking for that go mode piece. But yeah, for the beginning, we're going to be checking these NPCs basically. Not just for the side quests, which give rewards, but also just to see what they've got in the crafting shop. So, okay, some interesting things to take note of here. So basically the shops in Randomizer are all shuffled, and there's different pools that are like within which the possible items can be shuffled in. So what we saw there was pretty decent, but we can't craft anything in there yet, so there's no really use in spending too much time in it. And in this shop, which is the money shop, we're just going to sell some of the shards we don't care about. There's a lot of shards in this game, and each of them correspond to each individual enemy. So that totals up to quite a bit of them. We see Waystone in the shop, which is good fast travel. I'm going to purchase some seeds, which will help us for healing potentially later on if we find the crafting materials for that. And otherwise, there's not much else that we need to be concerned with yet. So yeah.
The Waystones are kind of like, if you like Symphony of the Night, they're kind of like our library cards. So whenever we use them, even in like boss battles, like where you shouldn't be able to leave a room, you'll be able to use the Waystone and go back into the hub world, which is really good because there's a teleporter kind of like right near the entrance that will also open, that will also act as our fast travel as well. Because we're going to be opening up all those, we'll call them green rooms, we'll call them teleport rooms throughout the stage, through, you know, this entire biome, and we'll be able to traverse incredibly quickly through that.
Yeah, something unique about Bloodstained's randomizer is that it's not just about, like, of course, in a speed context, right? It's not just about, you know, trying to blaze through the game as quickly as possible. You got to make sure to strengthen up your character sufficiently so that you can deal with the final bosses, because the final boss in this game are tough. Dominique and Vale are the pair of final bosses in this game, and in the regular game, I would say the game sufficiently prepares you for them, so you don't have to worry too much about them by the time you get there. But in the randomizer, it can be brutal depending on what you find, so we're going to take our time to strengthen ourselves appropriately.
Yeah, like, even in our best case scenario of like finding the Zangetsu, finding Dimension Shift, you are still left with very little options to take on the end game foes, which are incredibly spongy in HP, and they hit for a crap ton of damage. So like we can kind of like offset and mitigate that damage by purchasing like healing items, but sometimes we just don't have the money. We just don't have, you know, like the resources to keep up with that. So Karushi Drive's really got to focus and keep on the toes. If that early final gauntlet would ever come into play. Going out of the way a little bit here to collect these HP and NP max ups, and it's really cool in Bloodstained Ritual of the Night where you kind of don't have any of this game lag whenever you do pick up those weapons. Even when you level up, there's an option to turn off those game freezes mid-gameplay, and it's incredibly useful for speedruns and, you know, repeated playthroughs of this game, like with a randomizer.
Yeah, that little attic check or little section where you can get the stat max ups, it cracked me up the first time I found out about it. I was like, no way that existed. So we got a yellow shard there, Augment Mind. Mind is not a great stat in this game. It gives you magic resistance, which sounds useful, but doesn't end up being what we want usually in the yellow shard slot, which is the passive shards in this game. Gale Crawler, okay. That's actually an interesting one to talk about, Bobby, if you would like.
I'm actually familiar with Gale Crawler.
Oh, yeah. I found out about this recently myself, but apparently you can use Gale Crawler to go through what are known as the Iron Maidens, which is like a hazard that the devs put in the game to like
interesting.
basically. Yeah, it's really cool. You can basically use the Gale Crawler, and the Iron Maiden closes and allows you to push it and go through the obstacle that you otherwise wouldn't be able to go through. Because normally the devs put the Iron Maidens there to like kind of, you know, make the game a little bit more linear so that you can be guided along the path more easily. But With the Gale Crawler, we have like a nice fancy option of getting through them without having to worry about that.
So would that be considered like out of logic? Like the game wouldn't force you to use that shard to bypass the item maidens for like a special progression item, would it?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, to be honest, I don't even know if the built-in randomizer for this game has logic, but I get what you mean, and it's probably not the expectation. I would say the main way to get rid of these Iron Maidens, or in general, the obstacles that are grabbable using a shard, would be with the craftwork. Yeah, craftwork shard, that's right. So I think that's what the game expects you to do, but the Gale Crawler is like our speedrunner way of skipping past that without needing the craftwork.
That's awesome.
Wait, you say this randomizer has no logic?
I did say that.
Wow.
Yeah, there are some safety measures that the randomizer does have, and we'll be seeing some of those safety measures as we make our way through the main route in the beginning, hopefully soon. But pretty much, there's about like from what the community has done, like testing on, about a 10% chance for an STS seed to soft lock, which sounds high, but honestly, a lot of the seeds end up having some method of getting through them, whether you use glitches or not. With particular seeds that we would use in like a race context or just for showcasing in general, we've pre-vetted them so that we know that it's not going to be a soft lock. So in the case of this seed, we can rest assured that there's not going to be any issues with that. Otherwise, this wouldn't be showcaseable in the marathon. But yeah, the main thing we're going to be doing in the early game is basically killing all these enemies that drop purple shards. And we see we got one there from the Plume Parma, which is Gold Bullet. Again, Dimension Shift is a purple shard, and in the STS randomizer, the purple shards are shuffled amongst each other. And since Dimension Shift is a purple shard, it can be dropped from any enemy that would drop a purple shard in the vanilla game. So we basically memorized all the enemies that can drop purple shards, and we have a decent idea of the farming strategy and route that we want to use to kill them along the way. However, it sounds intimidating to have to memorize all the enemies in this way, right? But because again, the route is pretty well planned and thought out by the community, it ends up not being too bad to learn, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And there's even some like information that's like available inside of the game. Like there's a bestiary that can show you like the sorts of the sorts of things that can drop from the monsters. Another purple. That's the wrong DS. It's every time, every single time. It's the wrong DS. I'm sorry. I'm getting flashbacks from the randomizer tournaments from back then. What's this one? Tia
okay.
That's
pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely solid. I'll put it on. Oh, we also have some insect. Oh, go for it.
Just want to jump in real quick, saying remember the bid war for your favorite block. Does get art that's going to be put in the Yeti digital art bundle, and I don't know why is Fania sitting at 0 during Bloodstained. Why is Fania sitting at 0? Chat, we have to fix this. Fania needs to be up right now. Fania should be in first place with us playing Bloodstained right now. So, gdq.gg/donate.
Yep, so that was our first boss, Zangetsu, or second boss, I guess, but feels like the first boss because the ship boss is kind of just there. But yeah, he went down pretty quickly.
Yeah, hopefully that will be the only time we get to see him.
Yeah, hopefully. Oh my goodness. So we're just going to speak to this guy quickly. We give him a Waystone, and we get some XP and money, which XP in this game actually tends to matter because the levels help with allowing us to beat the in-game bosses much more easily, because the stats make a big difference. And also, the money is, of course, useful for the shop, so very desirable.
Money is useful everywhere. Money is useful to bolster the effects of Race Forward. I'm gonna quickly interject and plug in right here because we are literally under 900 away from 19K. Again, if we want to hit that 20K by the end of the day, get your donations in right now. Again, my donation, my vote for favorite block of this day is this block, the Underworld Rando block. Love randomizers, love these sorts of games. Go on over and donate and let me know what your favorite block has been or what your favorite Retroidvania is.
Yeah, absolutely. So some things I've done over the course of the run already that we haven't explained yet is just some of the things I've prioritized in the menu. Basically, anytime I see a luck luck improving accessory. I put it on because in STS randomizer, you're typically going to be farming a lot, especially from enemies that drop purple shards. So we actually want, before I continue what I was saying there, that's our first white shard, which is a like progression ability basically. This is a passive one that allows us to swim in the water. So we've opened up the forbidden underground waterway. However, going down there is pretty slow, and there's not much that we can actually gather from there directly. There's four purple shards that we can gather from there, and one white shard that is super out of the way. We have to fight a boss in order to get it. So we prefer not to do that if possible. And over here is this first safety check, and actually it does have invert. So Bobby, if you're willing to talk about the safety checks here.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about invert first of all, because this is our way to completely turn the game upside down. Like, no, like literally, like the game camera will shift so that you are on the ceiling and the ceiling is the ground. And that actually opens up quite a few places that we can go in now. So we have ways to go underwater, underground. We have ways to go onto one of the science labs. Jeeble's Hall of Termination, and so on and so forth. Oh, yep, just like we're about to see right here.
Dizzy.
Very dizzy. Some of these progression shards are actually useful. A lot of these are other progression shards that aren't in like white are also like in blue. We were earlier talking about craft work and how we are able to use that to move certain blocks to make way for certain things. I don't really think we need much of that anymore since we do have the ability to invert. But another blue shard that would really amp up the speed, forget what it's called. but I mean, Arya Saros Black Panther. But
yes,
it is, what was it called?
Accelerator, yes.
The accelerator, yeah. So that's our dash. That is our, if we can manage to steadily keep up on our MP, we will be able to zoom around the castle, and we would probably be done in like less than like an hour. That's a 40 minutes. So
I just want to say, with how you're moving, we do have love for this movement. We have a $10 donation from Virtua Punk that says, could you get an adorable mini backwards jump block? Because that's been one of my favorite parts of this run so far. So there's love for the movement of this game for you.
Yeah, the movement in this game is very satisfying, and I know that's something that people kind of voice their opinion on in Soten, which is one of this game's largest inspirations, of course. The one in the same man involved Mr. Koji Igarashi. He's the GOAT. The movement in this game is actually much easier than Soten, I would say. The backdash canceling is performed by just pressing backdash and then canceling that into crouch over and over. So it's a lot simpler than it would be in one of the Sotens or anything like that. We're actually going to go and fight Craftwork right now just to see if we get the 1 in 9 chance at the Accelerator Blue Shard. But there's also an accessory check behind them. And one of the best accessories you can find just completely like breaks the game wide open. It's Jeeble's glasses. Bobby, if you'd like to talk about Jeeble's glasses.
No, I mean, like, we're talking about ways that we can break the game wide open. Jeeble's glasses is an accessory that you can equip that completely eliminates your need to use MP. So it's basically like EX Super Turbo Hyper Fighting Edition mode. So the Jeeble's glasses would be incredibly nice that was the Aegis plate, would be incredibly nice to, again, have, because we could just spam everything. Our DPS would shoot right up, our speed would go right up, but we have a traverses ring.
Yeah, I just want to say, also shooting up is our donation total towards that 20,000 mark. We're currently $1,762 away from that 2,000 mark. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, excellent. You guys are doing great work. Keep it up. We really appreciate all the support everyone's been giving. So the next step we're going to do, since Craftwork didn't give Accelerator, in fact, he gave what a lot of runners would consider the worst blue shard, which is healing. Healing sounds good, but it's too much mana and doesn't recover your health that quickly, unfortunately. But what I'm going to do quickly before going to the potential next area that we want, this is just like a routing choice right now, basically, is I'm grabbing the warp here, just in case we want to come back here to create like a split in our route. So that's the warp room. And I'm also going to try to kill this ore dog before we leave. See, that's a purple shard dropping enemy as well. So, but there's a better spot to farm it in later, at least an easier spot to farm it in. So we'll come back for that later and see if it has anything we want. But while we're going to the next area, there's something worth mentioning, and I've been doing it already with Tis Resign. It's that with certain shards, mainly the laser shards, you don't actually need to hold down the button for the directional shard to get the damage to apply. You only need to press it just briefly, and then you can wait for the cooldown without having to spend the mana, which you would spend by holding down the button, and then you can just press it again. And that's a super mana efficient way of dealing the damage of the shard. It's really powerful, and what makes Tis Resign a solid option. But there's a top tier option over Tis Resign that we would hope to see, which is Void Ray. That one's one of the best shards in the game for beating the in-game bosses. But
incredibly instant, just super active the whole way through, and a lot of damage.
Yeah, exactly. So
just want to say, speaking of best, Vania's up there now. They have $55 for Vania. Helping us get there with that is we have a $50 donation from Miriam herself. What's Miriam Miriam's currently fighting a demon. How is Miriam donating? I don't get that. We also have a $50 donation from Mechalink with no comment, but it's going to help racial injustice. It's going to help fight systemic racism and help create a better future for all of us. So let's keep this going.
Yeah, so we're now in the area known as Hall of Termination. We have to do an important task that's necessary in any run of this game, which is to save Jeeble. And we have Zangetsuto, which we need to be able to do so. This is an accessory check, the Breakable Wall Room. We're going to save Jeeble. And in order to do so, we have to basically fight him as a boss, but we have to make sure not to kill him. We bring him down far enough in his health before the moon will turn red, and then we'll strike the moon with the Zangetsuto sword, and that will allow us to remove the illusion that he's being controlled by. And it's a very non-subtle reference to saving Richter and Soten, if any of you are familiar with that. Yeah. But before we do that, before we do that, we're just going up here for what would normally be a key item check. We don't technically need to do this because you already have Zangetsuto, but we're just exhausting the checks so that we can potentially find more goodies, such as silver bromide, which will open up another area. Yeah, Bobby, what you got?
8-bit has a purple shard in it, doesn't it?
It does, that's right, yeah. That's a nightmare to farm. So again, last resort type of thing. We're hoping not to have to go there, but that is another enemy that you have to keep in mind.
I just want to say while we're checking things, I just want to say that we're less than $1,500 away from 2,000 raised for Race 4. Let's keep it up, chat.
Everybody, GDQ.GG/donate right now. I am not asking you, I am telling you. This is an imperative. In order to unlock more of the marathon, we need your help. We need a collective effort to happen. We need Miriam to put the wailing on Jeeble right now, just a little bit enough to get him to come back to his senses. And again, that expert attack animation canceling for the quick DPS. Now, this is probably a little bit longer than we would have liked to have the boss fight, but this is a randomizer, so we're kind of dealing with the stuff that we have right now, the levels that we've gained so far. But soon enough, again, that moon that you see on the top right corner is going to glow red, and there actually is a little bit of wind-up time before you're able to slice it, and there we go. No, that is not time. That is just phase 2 of the randomizer.
Indeed. So yeah, this is necessary to get the true ending of the game, pretty much. So we've saved Jeeble. We actually don't need to be in the Hall of Termination anymore. So we're just going to go back to the hub town and save. And we have to make a decision here. Do we want to go to the waterway, or do we want to go to the Garden of Silence to the Tower of Twin Dragons? I'd actually prefer to do the latter because there's more purple shards along the way that take a shorter amount of time to get to. So that's the route we'll be seeing from here. Unfortunately, I don't have the warp in the Garden of Silence because I wasn't able to get it at the time I was first there, but we'll be able to get there with the warp that's close by. All right, just seeing if we can do any additional shopping before we go.
Where's that garden warp? That's all the way on the east end of the biome, right?
Yeah, it's across the gap, which you would normally need you normally need either craft work or some form of flight to get across, which at the time we were there, we didn't have. So, yeah. But now we have Invert, which it's interesting to note that Invert actually as far as I know, invert actually opens up pretty much all of the game except for like the very last stretch of rooms at the end of the game, which dimension shift is needed. An interesting thing about invert is actually that by itself, and because I mentioned it unlocks every area of the game, that includes the Forbidden Underground Waterway, which of course normally you need swim for that. But invert has like a special mechanic where when you use it underwater, you can still perform jumps underwater, and it'll take you like it's super strange to describe, but it'll take you like above towards like the top of the screen, which in this case is the bottom of the water when you're inverted. So it's like a pseudo swim. Yeah, it's super cool. So it's one of the most desirable progression abilities to find in rando.
Folks, just under $200 away from 19K, and Mocha Jones, I knew you were going to butt in there, so I'm going to let you take it. What do we have in store for folks for the rest of the
Yes. Well, I was going to say we're $200 away from 19K. We're also, that means that we are just over $1,100 away from 20K. Helping us get there, helping us get there, we have a $50 donation from Court saying, talking about our next run. What an amazing weekend for an amazing cause. Let's get that Hades 2 milestone. You need to see this, and I can't agree with Court more. You do need to see this Hades 2 run. And again, we want to see, as Bobby has said, Bobby's imperative that we get to that $20,000. Let's do. We also have $50 donation from Sarah that says, and this is talking about the Bippy incentive that we have for tomorrow for Cuphead. Says we're so excited for the Cuphead race tomorrow. It's such a fun run, and a huge part of that is the Bippy glitch. We have to get that showcase. Greetings from Canada, less than 3. And then along with that, we have a $250 anonymous donation that's going towards that Bippy incentive and also going to race forward. So let's get that going. We also have a $25 donation from Tony Ortiz, 15, that says, well, Bobby told me to do so. So hey, chat, listen to Bobby, donate. We are just under $200 from that 19,000. We are just we're just under 1,100. We're almost 1,100 away from 20,000. Let's get there, chat.
Yeah, let's get it, y'all.
Yep. So yeah, we're now in the Garden of Silence, the eastern side of it. There's going to be a farm, or 2 farms actually, that I'm going to be doing over here. One of them is pretty much right here, which is the Ore Dog, which I deferred until now. And this is actually a good time to talk about just like the idea of deferring a farm. Typically you can decide to wait on doing a farm until there's like a better farm spot that you're nearby. Oh, that was pretty quick. Flame cannon. Okay.
Yeah, it was really quick, but go.
Yeah. Typically you can like decide to wait to do a farm until another quick one. Turn to slicer. These enemies just don't want me to explain the farming theory. Typically you can wait to decide to do a farm until there's a better spot to do it in. However, in like a racing context, that might put you behind someone that decides to do the farm as soon as they encounter the enemy. So that's like the idea behind it. You can decide to defer it until you have a way to farm it more efficiently with a better farm spot or just better gear. Or you can decide to farm it as soon as you see it, which we kind of didn't even split it with both of them. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, in a competitive setting, let's take for example the first Ore Dog form that we had in the gallery, right? Mm-hmm. If one person had chosen to leave and go somewhere else, but however someone else has, like, say, someone that would speed up that farm, like the accelerator shard that we had a little bit earlier, they're able to reset the room, respawn the enemy incredibly quickly. So that would be, a little bit less of a time sink for that shard. And if that purple shard was dimension shift, then it would be halfway to go mode. So for a competitive setting, like making split-second decisions like that really, really counts. And so it counts so much that a certain player makes us coin the phrase, "He can't keep getting away with this."
So yeah, this was another enemy we had to farm, which we actually could not farm until reaching the Forbidden Underground waterway for the first time. I actually walked out of the room on accident before the shard came to me. And that's actually an important thing to keep in mind, is that you should wait for the enemy to like fill its death animation for the shard to reach you before you leave the room, because otherwise you won't get the shard. Now, thankfully, there's a safety measure you can take, which is to open the archives menu and check the enemy listing, and you can still see the shard that came out of it as long as the shard was produced. So even though I didn't get the shard, I was able to see that it's a shard I don't care about and just still carry on.
Cruci Drive, I'm wondering why you invited me onto a commentary when you know, like, literally this game front to back.
Well, I got to have another person to help support with the explanations, for sure.
Absolutely. No, it's an honor, and thank you very much for having me on here.
Yeah.
Bloodstained is just, like, super incredible, and I love the fact that, one, GDQ loves Bloodstained, but we have been able to showcase many of the different modes of Bloodstained. We were seeing the randomizer now. We've seen vanilla any percent runs, glitch runs. We've seen Zangetsu runs here on the stage before. Like, this is such a great refresher, a grand take on the modern Metroidvania formula, especially if you love like Aria of Sorrow, Symphony of the Night. Like, just that vibe will get you instantly with this game, especially if we have to explore much more of these towers.
Yeah, we're in yet another area, which is the Towers of Twin Dragons. There's a boss here that we cannot fight right now, but it's in this room, and it actually drops a purple shard, so there's a good reason to come here, and especially because that golden chest we see right there, which, there we go, there it is, that's a key item check right there, and it can contain silver bromide, which opens up yet another possible area we can go to farm some purple shards for dimension shift, but is really the only thing we're looking for right now. Thankfully, we have inverts. We don't need to go through the room that was underneath in order to get up here. And we're going to quickly make a detour to the library. In this game, it's called Livre Ex Machina. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing it right. But yeah. But basically, there's a boss there that drops a white shard, which, you don't technically need to fight it if you already have something like invert. But I just want some extra movement options because it'll help for the final bosses. Fighting Dominique with limited movement options is very tricky. So I would like to have something like double jump or high jump just in case.
And speaking of movement, I just want to say that we are $45 away from 1,500 race on Twitch. So thank you, Twitch chat, for taking action towards racial equity.
Absolutely, keep it going. Please, gdq.gg/donate. We do not have much time left in day 2.
That's right. So yeah.
Also, hey, what's your PB in this?
3152, which I feel like it's worth mentioning. The faster times you can get in STS Rando are definitely kind of depending on where you find Zangetsuto or Dimension Shift. The fastest seeds, I think, typically have Dimension Shift at the very first Cannon Moor enemy, which is the guaranteed drop purple shard enemy, as well as Zangetsuto in the very first chest that you open on the ship. So that would be an example of like a fast seed. But you probably also need to find something like Jeeple's Glass. There's some sort of shard that lets you like get through the final bosses without too much trouble. Because having just the go mode items alone is not really enough to finish the seed quickly.
Yeah, there's a lot of preparation that you need to do in order to brave the perils of the final biomes of this game. Again, bosses are incredibly high with HP and defense threshold. You are incredibly paper thin with your defense threshold because you probably took the opportunity to go there early, and now you are in a pretty picky situation. Oh, I love this version of the librarian. You can have different tomes that can alter the abilities or even bolster stats of Miriam. Deadeye Tome is for directional shards, if I recall correctly.
That's right, yeah. I don't remember the exact percentage it bolsters them by, but it's a pretty non-trivial amount, so you want to pick it up. And we have Chisel Barrage, which is a like it's good to beat the in-game bosses with, but we'd like to have some ether, hopefully, to be able to make it happen more easily. But with some extra damage on that, it'll definitely help. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm shuffling or kind of going through these warp rooms because for whatever reason, if you cycle through the warp rooms and after speaking with OD, which is the NPC I got the book from, you can pick up his maximum allowed books, which normally you'd only be able to pick up only one. It's borrowing in quotation marks, but we're actually just gonna have it forever.
I just want to throw in we are on PB pace right now for beating day 2 from last year. We are less than $700 away from beating last year's day 2 PB. So if you want to help us beat that, gdq.gg/donate or use the Twitch charity tool. Remember, if you do use that, please, if you want to put that towards either the Bippy showcase or towards any of the other incentives and bid wars that we have, you have to use that extension to put that donation towards that incentive.
Yep. So yeah, coming up is Andreophis. When the vanilla game drops, what is it? Double jump?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, double jump. That's right. A little bit of an annoying boss.
Yeah. So unless you're able to like completely burn this boss down, he's gonna start jumping across our boss arena. And even though like we have like Tisra Zion and we had the Deadeye Tome and we picked up another tome that kind of increases our intelligence, it could still be a little bit finicky for Andreophis to necessarily stay put. But I'd say that was a relatively quick fight given the circumstances. Oh hey, another invert. We already had the safety invert. So if we were to come to here, which I don't think we could have like super conventionally. But yeah, it would be here instead. But the safety was like the easier one to access. So wait.
Hold. Oh, okay. Well, okay. I mean, standstill's cool, but realistically, we're not gonna be able to use it unless we have Jeeble's glasses. So yeah, but we'll, if we get Jeeble's glasses, maybe we can see that for the last boss.
I'm really hoping for Jeeble's glasses. Again, like having infinite mana, it's such a new game plus sort of vibe. Like you just feel so powerful, especially with those end game items at your helm.
Yep, absolutely. Earlier as well, I forgot to mention it before I did it, but at the OD NPC, I kind of flipped around the screen with invert and jumped on OD's chair a bunch. It might have looked weird, like what am I doing, right? But that's to have him pop out an accessory chest, which we were able to get. Unfortunately, it wasn't Jeeple's glasses, it was voice changer, which is not useful. But I think you have to jump on his chair like 10 times or use gravity jump, or high jump on his chair like some number of times like that in order for the chest to come out. But it's supposed to be a reference to the librarian in Soten, which has a similar sort of Easter egg.
Yeah, if you high jump into the librarian's chair, I think you have like an HP max up under.
Right. Oh, okay.
Halite.
So from that blue chest, we got Halite, which is actually huge. That singular Halite will allow us to have so much healing for the endgame bosses. Basically, the nature of that is Halite's like one of the ingredients necessary to craft a rice ball. And we grew rice at the NPC that takes seeds to plant crops. And Halite plus rice gives you like rice balls. And then after you craft something in the crafting shop, you can purchase it as many times as you want. In the case of rice ball, you can carry up to 99 of them. And I think that goes for all the food items in the game. So having 99 rice balls, you'll hopefully be able to see like it'll allow for the healing to make things a lot smoother.
All right, folks. We need all hands on deck. We are getting incredibly close to 19K. Honestly, we have breached 18.9. Thank you very much for your efforts, everybody. Let's keep it on rolling because we are sub 100 away from 19K. We need 20K to unlock even more Hades 2. You want to go below? Then we have to still go above and see what lies beyond the surface. Please continue to get your donations in. Now, almost less than 50 away now. Please, there's not much time in the day. Kurushi Drive is absolutely blazing through this STS randomizer seed, even without the accelerate. So get your donations in right now so we can make J-Rock work a little bit harder for the adoration of Hades.
Yes, we do. And we do have some luck coming in for Kurushi Drive. We have a $50 donation from Zenryoku that says, "Let's go K-Drop. Looks like all that backdashing for fighting games paid off." And we also have a $10 donation from Fletches of Furry that says, "Tes Okets." Did I say that right?
Close enough.
And we're less than $1 away from 19,000.
All right, we got that $18.99. Where's that tax? Come on, y'all. Where that tax at? Taxman gets paid. There we go. 19K and some change. Keep it rolling, everybody. Again, gdq.gg/donate. Don't have enough time. Don't have much time, but you can make time. You can make time.
Yes, and helping us with that is $25 from Sprinkle Theory that says $25 to this amazing Vania block. This Kurushi Drive and Bobby combo has been amazing. So let's keep this going. We are almost to that $20,000 mark raise for Race 4. Let's go.
Kurushi, what fighting games do you play?
Oh, right now, I don't actively play any fighting games, just a little bit of KO 15. But I was most active in Under Night and Birth when I was playing fighting games most actively.
You look like Byakuya? Who'd you play in that?
Ooh, it was primarily Nanase, and then for a while I was like switching around between Hilda and Carmine, and then I couldn't settle for anything in Uni 2, so I just stuck with Nanase because I didn't want to learn a new character.
I'm sorry, I just had to prod with that question because the Venn diagram of black speedrunners and black fighting game community members is like darn near a circle at this point. Like we had Dynamite earlier, we had Street Fighter 2 earlier. Like I love me some anime fighting games. Like we are such a tight knit community, y'all.
Oh yeah. No, it's really cool to see like the crossover. I've noticed that as well with like kind of some other Igarashi games, like especially in the Soten community. A lot of fighting game folks over there too.
Yeah. Have a good boss coming up next. This is Valak, the twin-headed dragon, and it doesn't really matter actually how fast that we, like how much APM, how much DPS that we can actually dish out. This is pretty much an auto scroller fight that will play out in 3 phases, but I think you're going to want to damage them down. I think it's like 4,000 each or something like that. But
yeah, I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think it's like 4,000 each. If you deplete it to that much, then the next set of attacks will happen.
I just want to say that we are continuing to get donations to support Race 4. We are again under $1,000 to that $20,000 mark. Helping us get there, we have a $50 donation from Backdash Daddy that says Black Joy, heck yeah.
I'm sorry.
We also have a $50 donation from Dragon Rose Coffee that says, let's beat last year's PB. Time to make J-Rock work a little harder. And I agree, we have to get to that $20,000 mark, and we are under 900 now to go. Let's keep going, chat.
Sorry, I was dying over Backdash Daddy. Like what a awesome name. All right, don't have the dimension shift. I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, we're gonna have to play a little bit more Bloodstained Ritual of the Night for you folks.
Yep, that's right.
Quick item check right here.
Yeah. Tunic. Okay. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
So that's one of the items for the Fetch Quest NPC. So we're just going to go over to her to get that. So let's get our seed. And then we're going to give the tunic to her. Okay, the reward is kind of whatever, so doesn't matter too much. But it's important to still progress it because we get to check the successory reward, which could be Jeevel's glasses. In this case, it's sunglasses.
It's
not quite what we're looking for. She has 5 sunglasses, yeah. One for your friend and one for your other friend. All right. We're also going to check the craft shop here because we got some craft mats from the key item check that was behind the boss. All right, nothing too interesting here. There is poison kukri, which I might get. I think we already have summon insect though, so that'll fulfill the poison by itself. Okay, so we'll just skip for now. Let me save. So we have a couple of options from here. We weren't able to find dimension shift in a lot of the spots that we typically go to along the map. So unfortunately, we're kind of forced to go to Forbidden Underground Waterway. We'll be going underneath the initial portion of the drawbridge to get there.
Yeah, and again, like the traversing, I mean, we do have invert, and that's fine. We do have a technical way to swim, which is fine. And there are some like very small movement optimizations or even like damage boosting that can like help us sink faster like through water, because that will actually ignore the like the mechanics of the, you know, like the water gravity pretty much.
Yeah.
And then we have rice balls. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we're also boosting towards that $20,000 mark, and we have some excitement for this Hades 2 run coming up next. We have a $25 donation from Maggie that says, "Let's get that extra Hades run. So mote it be." We also have a $25 donation from Dorky that says, "I need to see that Hades 2 run." So again, we are under $900 to that Hades 2 run. Let's keep it going, chat.
Hey, shout outs to you, Thorgy. I see you, buddy. Thank you for coming over to AGDQ and seeing how we do things here.
Yeah, so I just picked up the rice ball from the shop. I crafted it first at Johannes, the NPC, that's the crafting NPC. And that allowed us to purchase it from the shop because we crafted it once. And now we have 99 rice balls, so that should hopefully be plenty of healing, along with some other healing that we picked up throughout the seed. And from here, we're just going to go to the Forbidden Underground Waterway, where there's a lot of nasty creatures, some rodents, some bats, some shovel armors even.
Yeah! Oh, I love all the cameos and callbacks to different indie games in this game itself. Yeah, like Shovel Knight's absolutely fantastic. Mocha, do you have any donations or messages to spit out?
Well, I do have a 2-for-1 deal for you right now.
Let's go.
Okay, so the BP Skip Showcase is currently around $945 to be met. As you see, we are already less than $900 to the 20,000 mark. If we hit that Beppy Skip Showcase, we will be over $20,000. Chat, can we get there? I think we can get there before the end of this run, chat. Let's do this.
You guys can do it. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so this is the Forbidden Underground Waterway, but like the other side of it, the west side. It's a huge area, and surprisingly, the warping points are pretty far apart from each other, and they're not quite that accessible without specific abilities, which among them are Reflector Ray and Deep Sinker, I think, is needed for one of the sides to get the warp. But there's an accessory check below us as well as to the right side of us in the room, so another 2 shots at Jeeple's glasses. Let's see.
I'm open.
Rose ring, yeah. All right, so there's another one here, and then we've got a purple shard enemy before we make it to the hidden desert.
Honestly, the desert is one of my favorite biomes. However, it's very...
Oh, there it goes! Oh, there it is. There it is.
It's not go mode, but oh my lord, does it help?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm relieved, honestly, because this was looking a little suspicious without some extra, an extra push a little bit. So I'm glad.
Folks, let's get some celebrations in the chat for Infinite MP. Let's get some celebrations for Kurushi Drive. Let's continue to get hype. All cylinders, everything must go.
Yep, that's right.
Yes, and we
go for it. Yeah,
and we are around $850 until we hit that $20,000 mark. And J-Rock going to the surface percent as well. Let's keep it going, chat. Let's get that by the end of this run. Can we do that? Let's do this.
All right, so I think it's the next room over that has the place where we can farm the next enemy that gives us purple shard, which is the D-Sama, I think it's called. In the vanilla game, this would give you Aqua Stream, which is what's the initial requirement to swim through the Forbidden Underground Waterway. and that's how you make into the hidden desert normally. It has a pretty high drop rate, I think. So, okay, there it is. Oh, nice. Okay.
Everybody, we are in go mode. We have
That's
infinite
right.
MP. We have the Zangetsu. We have ways to traverse through the obstacles of the final areas. Kurushi Drive, the end is in sight. And that means you definitely don't have much time to donate to get us to 20K. So everybody, get on that. Tell your friends, get on that. Post on social media, get on that. Call your mom up, be like, Ma, get on that. Please. GDQ.gg/donate. Not enough time in the world because Kurushi Drive is a go.
Yes, and since we're in go mode, let me just say that we are 800 from being in go mode to that 20,000 mark. So chat, let's go to race forward. Let's get that going.
Yeah, as I've been saying all weekend, let's race toward higher milestones for Race Forward.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I'm going quickly back to OD to pick up one more book. I think he gave me only 2 potential books to grab the first time, which is supposed to be 3. So let's see if he changes his mind on that. There we go. Okay. Okay, we would have wanted luck before now, but by now strength is probably the next best option. Luck would have helped us to get the drops more quickly, but we're already settled on that, so let's make our way.
775. Let's keep going, chat.
Yeah, should we start that countdown, chat? Y'all know what to do. I see y'all in there. Start that countdown for me, please.
All right, so we're gonna make our way towards Den of Behemoths now, which is the second to last area to complete the game. The enemies in this game or in this area are pretty nasty. They're like either like big amalgamations of previous enemies, or they're just like mega overstated enemies that are new to the area. So we're going to try our best to survive through it, but we should be fine with what we've got.
Should be fine. I'll let you focus. I'll talk through this. So we got the Den of Behemoths, otherwise known as Tiny Huge Island, because we're going to be having all these great big frogs and toads, and we might have had to take a farm with the dragon if we didn't have the dimension ship, but since we do, we don't really need to go out of the way for yet another mini boss sort of farm. Well, a mini boss that has become a normal enemy sort of farm. We use the invert to kind of traverse through the ceilings of this. Giant bats are just incredibly cumbersome. But since we don't really need much to go out of the way for, since we have the Jeebles glasses, since we have the dimension ship, we can again just kind of bob and weave through this. Again, there's that big dragon that lies below, and he hurts. He hurts a lot.
He sure does. And sometimes he jumps to make it to you. Sorry.
And after bobbing and weaving, we have $750 left to go to that $2,000 mark. And just want to let you know, we did beat that PB from last year's Day 2 event. So let's keep going. Let's keep that energy going. Let's get to $20,000. Helping us get there, we have a $25 donation from Lexi Bean saying to watch this with the best crowd and much my beanie and burrito. We have a $25 donation from Pile Pixels that says shout out to the Bloodstained run. Donated for the Bippy Skip. And remember, if we hit that Bippy Skip, we also get, we are under $700 now. Let's keep it going. We're almost there, chat. Let's go.
Let's go. Less than $700 away. Hey, we performed a little bit of our own boss skip, a little bit of our own glitch in this STS randomizer. And you can use dimension shift to just warp through even like the small thin platforms like you could. And that completely skips that boss fight. Veil 4, he has I don't even want to talk about him because we're not going to fight him. So we're just going to keep chugging on through, just like you folks are chugging on through with those donations. Again, this might be a bit of a familiar place. Again, it's just kind of like Tiny Huge Island. The garden that we kind of like warped from. This is kind of like the hell version of that. It's a very warped scape. like a little bit familiar, but a lot scary. We didn't even get to go to the desert, man. Like, that's one of my favorite biomes in the game. Get that old dude just kind of spell slinging. I love that guy. But I mean, hey, we're here now. We're in the frozen tomb. In earlier versions of this game, if you didn't have a powerful enough PC to play this, then Unreal Engine 4 would crash. Thankfully, they fixed that for the PC versions and the Switch versions of the game, so that we can complete, runs of this and many more categories of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It is a really, really nice biome as well, but again, very... 2 traverses rings, or did I misunderstand that?
Yeah, that looked like Traverse's ring again.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
I was going to say, speaking of completing things, let's get... we're under $700 left, helping us get there. So an anonymous $50 donation said, looking forward to that Hades 2 bonus run added to all the great runs so far. Again, we're less than $700 to get there. Let's complete that by the end of this run.
And you know what? We have less than 5 minutes to do so before the end of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I don't think you guys can fathom how close we are to sealing the deal on the done of this randomizer. We are doing one last bit of preparation, and we are going. We have one final boss left in 2 phases. You do not want to belay the order of that donation. Less than 700 more to go. Chad, I know you're still out there. I know we're still lively. I know that we can vibe and show up for Race Forward like I know we can. Not much time left. Let's do it now.
Yes. GDQ.gg/donate or use the Twitch charity tool. Let's get those donations in. Let's get to that $20,000 mark.
Yep, just doing the last pit stop just for sanity. I don't want to make sure I'm forgetting anything. Now we can go back to Glacial Tomb, and there's a last stretch of enemies, and we're pretty much going to be at the Dominique boss.
Yeah, these last couple phases are probably like one of my favorite boss fights in this game, because you do have humanoid enemies, and humanoid bosses are really kind of exploitable in this game. So where if you land enough hit ticks or DPS hits, you can actually get them in a really nice stun lock. And Dominique is susceptible to being stun locked. If you do not, if she does not behave, essentially, then she can teleport throughout the entire boss arena. She has an invincible, I call it the EX shoulder or the EX elbow, that can actually hit well behind you. It's got such an active hitbox to it. And a whole bunch of more random mess that we do not want in this randomizer.
Yep. All right, we got the HP max from that brick wall for good luck. So here we go. Dominique is beyond.
We're about 660 left to get to that 700. To get to that $20,000 mark. Let's go,
chat. Please.
We don't have that much longer to go in this run. Let's get there, chat.
No, we do not. No, it's good to mention the summon insect. Again, with humanoid enemies, they have the susceptibility for status ailments. And nice, we got the poison proc, so that'll tick down a set amount of the max HP per, every couple of seconds or so. But even those couple of seconds, those couple of ticks, speed up this fight immensely. Again, once you do enough damage, hopefully she will flinch. Hopefully she can be staggered out of her next attack, so this can be a little bit easier for Kurushi Drive to manage. The invert, really nice maneuvering around. And again, you don't really have a lot of the movement options. We don't have accelerator. Oh, the EX elbow. We don't have the double jump, so even though we do have invert, it is a very kind of wonky spell to add into all of this movement. Oh my lord. And again, so many bits of high tier magic from Dominique. Thank goodness we have all of these rice balls. They're so cheap. We can stock 99 of them, and we can continue to mitigate the damage of that EX elbow, and also the whip.
Oh, we're good, I think.
Let's hope. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, that is a very, very awful attack. You can try to maneuver around it when it's moving with the dimension shift. Okay, that is phase 1 down. We have like a minute and some change, chat. Again, go to gdq.gg/donate, $5. If you can, everything helps, especially if multiple people chain up that $5 like a train, like that throw loop I was talking about earlier on, because the final fight is here. This is Bale. And before anything really happens, we're going to be going through this shift segment. And through this shift segment, we have one of 3 options for Dominique to appear on either of these heads of ours. The cat head, the green head, or the red head. We have this nice time stop, so that would mitigate all of the time lost if she were to retreat back in. So this is incredibly important because Dominique is the boss. So if you are to try to like hit a head that she doesn't appear on, you're essentially doing nothing to the fight but deactivating an attack for like a minute or so.
600
away. Please, y'all, we are so close. Like, we're hacking, whacking, smacking, and eventually Kurushi's gonna call time. And then we will see if we get to go to the surface, but only if you folks, the community, the greater community out there, can help us reach $20,000. It is just within sight.
550. Let's keep this going.
You see all these 50s that Miriam's throwing out? Give me those 50s. Give me 50, 50, 50. We need to tick on up.
Let's make a train. Just like Miriam said, let's make a train. Let's get it going, chat.
$50 train. Yeah, time's gonna be coming up when the boss goes down.
Eventually. I think she's also got like 4,000 or something like that.
Yeah. Standstill is very funny because it doesn't work on most bosses, but it happens to work on Bale for some reason. So
yeah. And that's time. That is time. Excellent showcase of the randomizer Kurushi drive. And again, through all of our hands that we were dealt, we crafted, we prepared, we grinded, we leveled up, we're at 450. We're at 450 away. Hades is almost up next. But I do want to give the floor to Kurushi Drive for any sorts of shout outs, any sorts of things that they want to call to their attention. Dog, you did absolutely incredible. And a round of applause from me at the very least, because I love Bloodstained, I love Black Speedrunners, and I love Black Speedrunners getting involved in Bloodstained speedruns.
Oh, yeah.
What do you have to shout out for us, my friend?
Yeah, first of all, thanks so much, Bobby, for tagging along with me for the commentary. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
I want to give shout outs to, first of all, Tony Ortiz for making all the resources that I learned from. He made like a really long list of tutorial videos for getting into Bloodstained Randomizer. And you can actually check out his playlist if you want on YouTube. I think if you just search Bloodstained Ritual of the Night Randomizer tutorial, you should be able to find it. But big shouts out to him. Shouts out also to the folks that organized the 2023 Bloodstained Randomizer tournament. It was actually before I first played Bloodstained, but I had watched the tournament a little bit here and there as I was getting into some other games. And it was really cool to see all the runners showcase their strats in a faster setting. So shouts out to Jupiter Climb. I think it was Jupiter Climb and Fran that were involved in organizing of that. So really appreciate them. And of course, shouts out to everyone that's in the Bloodstained random community in general. Seeing everyone just like progress the game like to this degree and like show off the strats, show off the things you can do in this game. It's really cool. Shouts out to my folks in the Aftermath speedrunning community. That's the game I primarily run speedruns for, and they've been a big support for me throughout my speedrunning journey, which was only recently started. So I'm really glad to have them behind my back. And then finally, shouts out to my friends that are in the Drivers Colony crew. You know who you are, so big shouts out to you. If anyone's interested in checking out the things I do, whether it's speedruns or other stuff, I do everything on YouTube, which is live streams and sometimes podcasts and things of that nature. You can check me out at youtube.com/KurushiDrive. Right now I'm in a big Aria of Sorrow grind, which I'm going to be doing a run for on Sunday, actually. So if you're interested in Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, which is an adjacent game to this one, of course, be sure to tune in on Sunday for that run. We've got very knowledgeable set of commentators for that run as well. But yeah, I think that's all I've got. Bobby, do you have anything yourself?
I mean, I got a lot. I got a lot, but I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I will say this. The Bloodstained community is absolutely awesome. Whether you are wanting to run Ritual of the Night or any of the Curse of the Moon games, or even the next kind of major entry into the Bloodstained series that's coming up, that's in recent development. Folks, I mean, like, you know, we're going to have your back if you do decide to want to speedrun any of these games. The Bloodstained community is absolutely open, so welcoming, so friendly, and again, like, from people with, you know, through all walks of life. And they've developed the tech, they've grinded to those top times, and these World Warriors, I mean, like, I am super proud of them. Like little indie games, you know? Like, so many things that can be born of little indie games like that. Guys, we are less than $300 away from 20K, and J-Rock the God is raring up something fierce for something no-handed, y'all. We're at, okay, sorry, because y'all keep fighting the good fight. Less than $200 now. Say it with me, chat. Less than $200. Who is going to be the one to send us over that grand milestone? All right, Kurushi Drive, thank you very much for, oh my God, 20K, y'all.
$20,000.
Let's go.
Let's go, chat.
20K during Bloodstained? Are you kidding me? Y'all are awesome. Are you kidding me? That is such a banger. I love it.
Yes. Way to go, chat. $20,000 raised for Race 4. Thank you so much for all the donations that come in. Helping us get there is a $291 from Rafa saying 20K. Let's go.
All right, we are going to continue on the hype as we get ready for J-Rock the God. Again, we're going to be sending it back up to Mocha Jones to give you the what's what. That's been Kurushi Drive. I have been Bobby. Y'all have been absolutely incredible. Keep it rocking. We'll see you in a short bit.